What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give yourself a round of applause for being here tonight. Just like with every other night, fans, we want to give you some good content tonight. Give you an NBA Finals preview tonight. We're going to talk about some stuff in the NFL, and we got some boxing results. But as we get started on most nights, here's a little interlude of what we do.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
We got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting them.
I got some of this for you.
Goodness. For me?
Yeah, just for you.
Think about it like this: the promoter pays the fighter, the fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works
Work for the promoter. Okay.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about this upcoming?
Like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the
Oh
Fans
my goodness!
continues
gracious.
to
I'm in
evolve,
tears.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly
What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in once again to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here tonight. There's a lot of shows that you can be tuning into, a lot of things you could be doing. You could be cutting some grass, doing some grocery shopping, taking wifey out to dinner. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the share button if you really like the content that you're enjoying, so you can share with your buddies. I'm trying to build a brand, fans. I'm trying to get to 3,000 subscribers on my YouTube page. 3,000 subscribers on my YouTube page by the end of summer. So I need your help with that. I'm pretty close. The next step is going to be 5,000, then 10,000. But I need your help. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Let the fans know that what content you're enjoying. Tonight, we're going to talk, like I said, we're going to give you an NBA preview, NBA Finals preview, that is. We're going to talk about some NFL content, NFL action. It's kind of slow, obviously, in the NFL season, but tonight's going to be a big NBA show. And then I'd like to get you guys' feedback on what makes an NBA superstar. I'd love to get you guys' feedback on that. If you have an idea what makes an NBA superstar, let me know so we can talk about it. As you guys know, most of you guys know who follow the NBA, we have the NBA Finals start tomorrow, and I want to know who you guys got in the final. First of all, let's go that route, and then I want to know. You guys see this here? Still waiting on my payback. Where you at, Cleveland? I'm still waiting on my ribs, bro. 2 pounds of ribs on it, so I guess that equals out because I had the Chiefs, 2 pounds of ribs on the Chiefs not winning the Super Bowl. That was Cleveland had that because I had the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, so those things kind of evened out a little bit. But this was SGA. Where are my happy hours, Cleveland? SGA won the MVP, but this was the discussion we had on December 11th, and there should be. I thought there might have been one more. It was SGA. I thought I had OKC winning the finals. That's the only reason I'm trying to regurgitate this information. I thought I had OKC winning the finals. Trying to see when I did that, but it doesn't look like that was actually the case. Be sure, fans, you're checking out the content on checking out our articles on voiceofthefans.org. We've got weekly content for you guys there every week. Most recently, got an article on Noel Quinn, the Seattle Storm head coach, and what they're doing down there. So make sure you guys check that out. But to get our content started, fans, as you know, like I said, well, we're going to talk about NBA Finals, NFL offseason. We're going to talk about boxing. There's some fights over the weekend. We're getting to that. And NHL. I got a question about the NHL. I didn't know they were still doing this in the NHL, and I want to know, should they have this practice? Should the Major League Baseball and NFL adopt this practice? I think it would be hilarious if they did. But I want to know what they think. So we'll get to that a little later. After, so I want to start with the NBA preview, but some general NBA topics before we get there. After not reaching the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years, the Knicks reached the Eastern Conference Finals and then fired their head coach after they lose to the Pacers. The Knicks haven't done anything. I understand big market. I understand all this. Everybody wants to win, but they haven't been there. They haven't been in this situation to win before. And why you fired Tibbs is beyond me. I have no idea. So now you're going to bring in an offensive coach who doesn't play defense. Well, what's going to happen right here? I think they didn't need to fire Tibbs. Tibbs didn't need to be fired. He got them further than they've been since 1999. And you fired a guy. Come on, New York. Was that Dolan? Was that Rose just gave him what did they say? A vote of confidence after their game on Saturday. I believe it was Saturday. So I don't know. Firing them it is a knee-jerk reaction. Didn't make a lot of sense. The Utah Jazz, bring somebody familiar into the fold there. They bring Austin Ainge, the son of CEO and alternate governor Danny Ainge, to bring his son into the fold. Now he's a part of the front office. I mean, we all know what is the word in 2025, nepotism. Is that the word? But we see that a clear case of nepotism here. He did send him somewhere else, didn't show him the ropes internally, let him kind of learn and grow himself into the role, and then brought him over. So Danny Ainge is now working with his son. I guess that's good business if you can get it. The Suns have reportedly narrowed their head coaching search to Johnny Bryant and Jordan Ott, who are set to meet with team management for their final interviews this week. Do you know who either one of those guys are? Have you heard of anyone of Johnny Bryant or Jordan Ott? I don't think many people have, and I think less pundits may know of these guys. But it's an interesting decision that they decide to reach out to either one of these guys. And apparently Johnny Bryant is Devin Booker's chosen coach. We'll see how that works out. I mean, you catered to the guy for 8 years and he hasn't won anything. You're going to keep catering to him? I mean, it kind of seems kind of odd in my opinion. But, the Suns aren't going to win anything as well. Aren't win anything as well. So we'll see. We'll see. We will. The Suns. The Suns are going to keep repeating history and not focusing on the talent that they have to win their games and bring in these coaches. I don't know that my man Ispia really knows what he's doing. If you guys got some ideas on what the Suns are doing, help me out because I don't know what they're doing. They're going to get rid of KD. Bradley Beal, I mean, you're going to have to kind of you're kind of stuck with Bradley Beal. Devin Booker being a part of the decisioning of the new head coach tells me that they're going to keep him around. So Devin Booker, Bradley Beal going back, running it back. What do you guys think about that? You Suns fans out there, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how things go. We got the finals coming on tomorrow, fans. This will be we'll see the youngest crop of talent we've seen on the court in the NBA Finals action since 1977. That'll be interesting. I wrote an article. I was asking NBA fans, when was it? I want to say it was about the time of the season started, about how do you like the new breed, the young guns coming in the league. I know what it was. It was NBA in-season tournament, because at that time it was only young guys competing. And did you know, like LeBron and Steph, I think, got eliminated from that in-season tournament, if I remember correctly. It was a few months ago, and we were left with the young guns. Like Tyrese Halliburton had a chance to shine in the in-season tournament. We were left with young players, and now we see that the league, now that the KD, the Steph Curry, the LeBron James, they're not making the playoffs every single year. Young teams are beating them and excelling in the NBA. So now this has become a young man game. And the young crop, what do you want to call them? What did I see the word for? Not millennials, the generation after millennials. Darn it. These young guys are kind of taking, the league is theirs now. The SGA, the Anthony Edwards, the Victor Wembanyama, the Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, he's a veteran. He's an old veteran in the league. Luka Doncic is an old veteran in the league. Now these young guys are kind of taking over. How do you guys feel about that? Are you guys enjoying this youth movement? Are you enjoying the young takeover, if you will? Because that's it's been pretty impressive. I mean, it's going to bring a different brand of basketball. It's going to bring a different type of basketball, obviously, because they're not the veterans and the guys that we kind of grew up with. However, I think it's going to be a better brand of basketball. What do you guys feel about that? I think this better brand of basketball is going to be they can do a little bit more on the court. Everybody can. They can do not more on the court, but their game is expanding. The game is evolving. Or how do you guys feel about that? Should you guys be excited about this new era of or this new player in the NBA? It's obviously going to be different because you haven't watched them win yet. But until they win it all, they haven't won it all. So you can't be mad at the guys because they haven't won it all. And you got to give them a chance to get it done. Once they get it done, then you can call them champions, and then they become veterans. So it's a progress. It's not a progress. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a process. It's a process. So you can't. You got to be open to these new set of players. You got to be open to the idea that there's young players taking over. Last year we had the Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks in competing for the finals. This was the Celtics era. That was their first championship. And obviously they didn't go back, but Luka era. Luka was with Dallas, Luka Kyrie. That would have been Dallas's first championship since 2011. So these new players are kind of taking over the league, and it showed in that finals last year. Also, so I wrote this article May 29th, so about a year ago. Is everybody on board with the youth movement? Here was Shea killing in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson doing his thing in the playoffs last year. Anthony Edwards doing his thing. Luka Doncic doing his thing in the playoffs. So we got all these players that are coming off the backs of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, obviously Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. We have all these players coming behind them doing great things. And so now that Steph is going out, being ushered out the door, we have Kevin Durant going out the side door. Like we say, LeBron's not going to be able to stick around for very long. We got new players taking over the league. We got new players. So how do you guys feel about that? Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Tyrese Maxey, Alperen Şengün, Naz Reid, like I say, Anthony Edwards. We got a new crop of players taking over the league. How do you guys feel about this new crop? Are you guys excited for the new crop of players, or do you guys nostalgic about the old? You want Kobe back? I mean, how do you feel about this? Regardless of how you feel about that, evolution happens. There's nothing you can do about it, and we're enjoying it right now. So check out that article I wrote. It's been over a year ago. I didn't realize it that long ago. But check out that article I wrote on voiceofthefans.org, and it talks about really kind of forgetting the past and recognizing this new era of players, this new era of hoopers. If you guys can do that, that'd be awesome, because it's a new era that's been often ignored. So this NBA Finals, we have, as I mentioned, we have the youngest team, the youngest collection of talent since 1977 playing in the Olympics. This is also the first time since 2002, when the Los Angeles Lakers took on the New Jersey Nets, that neither team paid into the luxury tax. Neither team played into the luxury tax this season. So that's kind of the sign. That's and how the league wanted to structure itself. They were looking for parity, and they were looking to structure itself so these large markets couldn't load up and have excess talent, and give some of these young small market teams, Indiana Pacers, who are run well. Indiana Pacers, the OKC Thunder, they run well, so they're able to do some things. And they have good players, and Oklahoma City just. I guess it was hard to fail with the amount of draft picks that they got. So they're having their successes as we see. So this is the first time that since the Lakers played the New Jersey Nets that neither team paid into the luxury tax. What do you guys think about the Paul George influence in this game? Are you guys familiar with Paul George's influence in this game? Well, if not, for those who aren't, I'll say, in July 2016, Paul George was traded from the Pacers to the Thunder for Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. Now, we all thought that was a quality trade to get the two players for the one, but neither. I mean, the Pacers ended up trading Sabonis a few years later to the Kings for Tyrese Halliburton, and that worked out better. That worked out better for the Kings. That worked out better for the Pacers, because obviously the Pacers are in the finals. But that worked out good for Sabonis. He just couldn't close, and that's kind of been the Kings' issue. And then before they kind of collapsed, if you will, under lack of talent. And then in 2019, the Thunder traded PG to the Clippers for 7 picks and/or swaps, and SGA was a major player in that trade. Now, we all know every GM in the league would have did that trade, because that trade wasn't just PG to the Clippers for the 7 picks and swaps and SGA. That trade would have been for Kawhi Leonard, PG, 7 picks and the swaps, because Kawhi wasn't going to come. If they didn't do that, Kawhi doesn't come. Could they live with SGA and Paul George? Probably so. But if they wanted Kawhi Leonard, a proven champion, coming off of winning the championship for Toronto, if they want that guy, they got to give up the 7 picks and the swaps, because he was coming in on a win now mentality versus a win later projection, which SGA was on a win later projection. They weren't on the same timeline. And so that's why they went and got Paul George, because Paul George would have been on Kawhi Leonard's timeline, like, let's win right now. So any GM, you guys going to hear obviously I'm talking about it. So you're going to hear about this trade and the Paul George impact on the NBA Finals this year. You're going to hear about it in multiple different ways, I promise you. But keep in mind, any GM would have made that deal at the time that deal was presented. Because if the Clippers did not, they didn't want to let Kawhi Leonard obviously lose him to the crosstown rivals. So they were willing to do almost anything. And that almost anything was turn around and trade your youngest asset, your best asset, your youngest player, and then 7 picks because you expect to be having late round draft picks or late draft picks in the later rounds because you're going to win a championship with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So let's go get Paul George. Let's ship SGA away and let's hope on these two at the time all-stars to come together and make Voltron. Well, after 5 years of playing together, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were often hurt in the playoffs, and they made the Clippers made the Western Conference Finals in 1 year. In that year that they made it, Paul George was a factor in getting them to the Western Conference Finals, and Kawhi Leonard was out. So they never got the benefit because of injuries of that lineup. But any GM, I'm here to tell you that any GM would have made that deal because it was not only Paul George for SGA and 7 swaps. It was Paul George and Kawhi Leonard for SGA and seven pick swaps. Players. So this is what SGA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the kind of pace that he's on. Players to win the MVP and the NBA title in the same season. How many guys has done that? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He could become the 15th player to do so. The class he would be joining Bob Cousy. He would Bill Russell, Walter Stilt, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, LeBron James, and Steph Curry. That's the crowd he's going to be joining. Willis Reed also is when he does this. I expect them to win the title, so this is a kind of a coronation, in my opinion, for the Oklahoma City Thunder to win a championship. It's kind of a coronation. Somebody told me the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to win a championship and then days later announce that the Seattle Supersonics coming back. I mean, that would be kind of. I mean, if it took Oklahoma City Thunder to win the championship for the Sonics to come back, I mean, I'm even more on board for the Thunder to win their championship here. Players who have won a scoring championship and an NBA title in the same season, that list is much shorter than the guys who won the MVP and the NBA title. That list is Shaquille O'Neal, the 2000 version of Shaquille O'Neal. 6 times Michael Jordan has done that. So 92 to 93 or 91, 92, 93, and then took his break, 94, 95, and then 96, 97, 98. Michael Jordan did that. And Kareem did it once in 1971. Kareem did that one time. And this is what SGA is this is what's in front of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He has the opportunity to become the 4th player to win a scoring championship and an NBA title in the same season. He can become the 15th player to win the MVP and the NBA title in that same season. He has all this in front of him. He can become the player. He can become a player with the most points per game in a championship in the same season. He can eclipse Michael Jordan in that category. Let me see what his real quick. What was SGA's points per game? I think he's over 32.7. I want to say SGA. Is it coming up? Yeah, it's even coming up when I type in SGA in basketball reference. So he's averaging 32.7 for the season. Michael Jordan averaged 32.6. I don't think they take into account. In fact, I'm very certain they don't take into account playoff stats in this number here. So if he were to win this thing, win the championship, he will have the highest average at 32.7. Michael Jordan right now, the 92-93 year, 32.6. He will have the highest average points per game and winning the title in the same year. Michael Jordan is next at 32.6. Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is 31.7. Michael Jordan in 1990-91 is 31.5. Rick Barry is 30.6, 1975, and then Michael Jordan again, 95, 96 at 30.4. So you see that Shea is really, we already know he's killing it. He won the MVP, guys. Come on. But he has his these guys are in a historical pace right now. The OKC Thunder are. They're in a historical pace. So acknowledge it. I think this makes for a fun finals because we're going to see history in a couple ways. We're going to see the youngest team, a young team win a championship. We're going to see a young player cement his name as amongst the greatest guys in the game. I mean, when you go Michael Jordan, Lou Alcindor, Rick Barry, I mean, when you eclipse that list there, you add your name to that list and you become number one on the list, you're doing a hell of a job. When you become the fourth player only to win a scoring championship and an NBA title in the same season, you're doing yourself a hell of a job. So kudos to SGA, and let's see how things transpire over the next couple of weeks. I fully expect them to get the W, but let's see how things transpire. With this matchup, I think it's these guys are 1-1. How do you guys see this game going? Do you see in my opinion, kind of I think OKC Thunder does, or excuse me, I think Indiana Pacers do a lot of the similar things that OKC Thunder do, except the Thunder do them better. They have a better bench. They have better role players. They have the league's MVP in Shea, versus where Halliburton's been really good. Halliburton has more game-winning shots in his playoffs this season than SGA has, but the games haven't really been close to SGA is playing in, and the games have been nip and tuck that Halliburton's been playing in. So having more game-winning shots is better than not having the game-winning shots. But if you don't need the game-winning shots, you don't need the game-winning shots because your team is already handling the business in quarter 1 through 3. Fourth quarter is, they're resting at the time, most of the time. So that is kind of interesting for us to check it out. I give my prediction. As you know, the series starts tomorrow. I give my prediction. I expect the Oklahoma City Thunder to win their championship in 5 games. Oklahoma City in 5. I'll give Indiana some respect and say they'll win one game at home, but Oklahoma City in 5, I think that's the way that's going to break down. Now, fans have got a lot of conversation about this topic here, the NBA superstars. How many are currently playing? This has been a hot topic, but for those of you who missed it last week, the qualifications for an NBA superstar, my qualifications anyway, are your role on the championship squad. Are you the attraction on your team? Do fans pay to see you? And what's your history of beating the other top talent? And what's the history of beating? What's up, Ivory Coast? What's good? How's New York treating you? What's the history? Do you have a beating top talent? And do you have expectations? Are there expectations on your name, or are you just sliding through, sliding by, and nobody's expecting anything from you during the season or on game time? Are you on the scouting report? So those are my kind of 4 criteria. What's your role on the championship squad? Are you an attraction? Do fans pay to see you? What's your history of beating the top talent in the league? And are there any expectations? Do they have any expectations of you? So SGA is no doubt an NBA superstar. No doubt. He won the MVP this year. His team is in the finals this year. I think that's winning. His role, he's a league MVP. Is he a champion? Not quite yet. Are you attraction? Do fans pay to see him? Yes, I think they do. They want to see the league's MVP. What's your history of beating top talent? I think they had the best record in the league by far, so their record against top talent was pretty good. Are there expectations? Yes, he was expected to be the next guy when he got drafted number 13 in the league. Now he's in OKC. I talked about earlier the trades, the transactions that allowed him to get to OKC, and he's been killing it. He's a dude down there. He's killing it. You can't argue. No one can argue that. And again, he did win the MVP. So even if he was just in the MVP running with Nikola Jokic, he was in the MVP running with Nikola Jokic. So SGA, a superstar. Anthony Edwards, do people pay to see you? Are you an attraction? Do you have a history of beating top talent? Well, Anthony Edwards was in the finals last year. So I have Anthony Edwards as a superstar. Luka Doncic beat Anthony Edwards to get to the NBA finals last year. Luka Doncic, as you know, you saw from the response in Dallas when he was traded to Los Angeles that fans do pay to see him. Fans come to the building to see him. Is he a champion? Not quite yet. But are there expectations? There's absolutely expectations because he's that good. Steph Curry, yes, he's a champion. Is he an attraction? Yes, he's an attraction. Do people come to see him? Yes, people come to see him. People pay to go see his pregame warm-ups, let alone his full-time game. Does he have a history of beating top talent? Yes, he's a 4-time champion. He's been in a row before. Are there expectations? The expectations today aren't what they once were because he's achieved a lot. He has 4 championships. Not a lot of players have 4 championships. So he meets it. Kevin Durant, your role on championship squad on his 2 championship squad, he was the league. He was the Finals MVP. That's a superstar in my opinion. Kevin Durant changes the makeup of a lot of teams he would go to, and you'll see that this offseason. So Phoenix is gonna trade him more than likely. If he went to Houston, they'd be a favorite in the Western Conference. If he went to Miami, they'd soon become a favorite in the Eastern Conference. If he went to Boston, if he went to Milwaukee, all these teams quickly become favorites if they get KD on the roster. So yes, KD is a superstar. The same with LeBron James. He has countless championships, been in the finals 10 years in a row, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he's not as impactful as he once was. LeBron James is still a superstar in this league. So I've identified 6 superstars: SGA, Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Jason Tatum. Is Jason Tatum a superstar? I say yes. Jason Tatum has earned his superstar stripes when he won a championship last season. He was won a gold medal. He was on a gold medal championship, a gold medal winning team. So he won a gold medal. Him and Brown won a gold medal, him and Brown won the title together. Brown was not in the Olympics, so they won not only did they have championship pedigree, they've got Tatum has gold medal, Brown has a championship medal, and they come back and there's expectations for him this year, or there were expectations for him this year before Tatum got hurt. Brown apparently was dealing with a meniscus tear in his knee. So yes, I got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as superstars in this league. I got Kawhi Leonard as a superstar in this league. The only guy to go to Toronto and make Toronto a championship in 1 year. He won 2 championship in 2 different cities, San Antonio and Toronto. Yes, Kawhi Leonard, there's expectations of him. He has history of beating top talent. He's an attraction. People pay to see him. And his role on championship squad, he carried the Toronto Thunder to their championship. Nikola Jokic do we have to really discuss this? Nikola Jokic, 3-time MVP, finals champion, So he has a championship. He's that dude. He could have won the championship, the MVP this season. Nikola Jokic is that guy. It's from the Baltic Sea, and I mean he's arguably one of the greatest basketball players in the world. Another guy arguably one of the greatest basketball players in the world is Giannis Antetokounmpo, absolute superstar. Dominates top talent, won a league MVP, won a NBA Finals. So he has a pedigree, he has a talent, and he has the skill set to be a champion. He is a champion. He is an NBA superstar. Now this is going to be kind of controversial. This is going to be kind of controversial, and I'm eager to hear you guys' feedback on this. I do not have Donovan Mitchell as an NBA superstar. Although he hasn't won a championship, he is an attraction. Fans do pay to see him. Does he have a history of beating top talent? That history is kind of sketchy. Are there expectations? There's absolutely expectations. I don't have him be, and you can some can spot out those. Some can point to those playoffs battles that he had with Murray, 50 points. You know, they were going 50 points every other night in prime time action. When you need him, you need those big time games. He was giving you those big time games in Utah. He was giving you those big time games in Cleveland. However, I think in his years in Cleveland were kind of how do I say it? I want to say disappointing because they did get to the second round of the playoffs, but underwhelming. I'll say they were underwhelming. I expected more from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And because I didn't get more, I have to say that Donovan Mitchell is not, here's where I draw the line, is not an NBA superstar. However, I have to say that John Morant is an NBA superstar. No, he does not have the championships. Is he an attraction? What do you guys think the attendance would be in Memphis if John Morant didn't play every night? What do you think the attendance would be when John Morant goes to New Orleans, when he goes to Atlanta, when he goes to Brooklyn? What do you think the attendance is? They spike because he's coming to town. Does he have a history of beating top talent? Well, they were number 2 in the Western Conference at one point. And yes, there is a lot of expectations of John Morant. Yes, I have John Morant as a NBA superstar. I don't have the likes of Damian Lillard, Jalen Brunson, Paolo Banchero, Tyrese Halliburton. I do not have an NBA superstar right yet. Anthony Davis, James Harden, Devin Booker. These are guys I do not have as an NBA All-Star as we speak. Is there anybody else I left off the list? Those are the guys that I can name. All-Stars and anybody after John Morant, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Jalen Brunson, Paolo Banchero, Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Davis, James Harden, Devin Booker. Heck, Paul George, not an NBA superstar. Anybody got any arguments with that? I'd love to hear some back and forth. I'd love to hear some debate on who is an NBA superstar, who isn't. I told you my list. The list is short. That list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys as an NBA Hall of Famer. How many do you have an NBA, not all NBA Hall of Famer, as an NBA superstar? How many do you have NBA superstar out of this league? Who's having a better postseason? Who's had the better postseason to this point? Not including the NBA Finals. Who's had the better postseason? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Tyrese Halliburton? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as I mentioned, is getting his average every night. Tyrese Halliburton has had big games. and kind of you see his thing going up and down, his timeline going up and down. But he's had big games. But SGA has been more consistent. For that reason, I say SGA is having a better postseason. Halliburton getting his team to the NBA Finals is a great accomplishment. SGA is doing that without losing slippage from what he's done in the regular season. So that's my final preview, fans. Do you guys have any objections to the finals? Again, I think it's going to be – I got OKC in 5. I'm being respectful to the Indiana Pacers, to more so Pascal Siakam, NBA champion. I'm being Rick Carlisle, NBA champion. Being more respectful to them, saying that they're going to at least win one game. But I can see OKC sweeping these guys. They're just too deep, too talented. Everything that Indiana does, OKC does better. They have a unique point guard who can hit shots all over the floor. Well, the Thunder have the league's MVP at SGA. They have different guys who can. They have a deep team. You can get some contribution from Nembhard. You can get some contribution from Naismith. You can get some contribution from Mathurin. You get some contribution from Pascal Siakam. Well, I just named you Naismith, Nembhard, Pascal, Miles Turner. I'll take Chet Holmgren. I'll take Jalen Williams. I'll take Caruso, who's a champion. I'll take Hartenstein, who the Knicks miss a lot. I'll take those guys. This is going to be a good series, but I'm ignoring the small market-ish about the series, and I'm looking forward to just some good basketball. Who do you guys have winning? Send in your predictions. I don't want you coming at me next week talking about when the Pacers are down 3-0. Talking about I had OKC the whole time. Let me look and see. I'll tell you guys as well, but just so I can see what is the schedule for these guys in the NBA Finals. How is the schedule going to go? Maybe somebody should have looked up earlier, but. So, obviously, they play tomorrow. So, here's what I do. I just look at one of the team schedules. OKC. So, obviously, they play tomorrow in OKC. Okay. They play tomorrow, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, the 11th, Friday, the 13th, Tuesday, the 17th. Friday the 20th. Yeah, the NBA be spacing these finals out, boy. I tell you what. So they play Thursday, then on Sunday, Wednesday, then on Friday, Tuesday, Friday, and Monday. They are dragging this out. So game 1 is on the 5th. Game 7, if there were to be a game 7, is on the 23rd, which is 2 weeks of crazy basketball. So that's wild. We got Friday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Friday, and then Monday. June 23rd will be the last of basketball action we get at this point. So, that's a little good rundown of the schedule for you guys. I got OKC in 5 at the very minimum. Fans, we like to play the numbers game on this show. With it being June 4th in our 343rd version of this show, when you think of number 4, who wore their jersey number the best? Or who comes to your mind first? Lou Gehrig or Brett Favre are the number 4. When you think of the number 43, who comes to your mind first, or who wore this jersey number the best? Dennis Eckersley or Troy Polamalu? Richard Petty also wore the 43 card too. So who comes to your mind first, or who wore that jersey number the best? Let me know, fam. Let me know what you think. This week in the NFL, we had Detroit Lions center Frank Ragnow, a 4-time Pro Bowler, a 4-time Pro Bowl selection in his 7 seasons, announced his retirement today on social media. 29 years old. Interesting. It tells you how what kind of pain and kind of brutalization he was being put through. If he's retiring at 29 after 6 years in the league, kudos to him. Deion Sanders is refuting reports that Shedeur Sanders was unprepared and unprofessional in team meetings during the NFL Combine. Is Deion suffering from what all parents suffer from? Not believing that their kid could be wrong? I don't know if that's the case, but I'm just a question I'm throwing out there. Because Shedeur is clearly would not tell his dad, regardless of who his dad was, that I had headphones on during the meeting. I wasn't paying attention, et cetera, et cetera. He's not gonna tell his dad that stuff. He's gonna tell, Dad, I was sharp and attentive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the rumors are something else. The rumors are telling a different story. J.K. Dobbins to take a free agency visit with the Broncos. Interesting. I thought J.K. Dobbins did enough to keep his job with the Chargers. I thought he really did. It wasn't 1,000 yards. I think he had just less than 100 yards. Just less than 800 yards rushing last season. I really thought J.K. Dobbins did enough to stay on the Chargers. Now I know he wasn't healthy all the season, the whole season, and there were some injuries that they're dealing with. But my goodness, I tell you what, J.K. Dobbins. So last year he picked up 905 yards rushing. That was his best. He had his best season as a running back in the league, rushing for the Chargers. I'm kind of surprised. 4.6 yards a carry, 69 yards a game. He was a game breaker for them as well. He played in 11 games, started in 13 of their 17 games. I'm surprised that they cut the cord on maybe they just didn't re-sign him. I'm still kind of surprised by that. But they brought in the running back out of Pittsburgh last season. I think they're going to be disappointed in that pickup. I think they're going to be disappointed in that pickup, and it's going to say a lot how the running scheme, how they work the rookie into their running game. But we're going to see how that shakes out. Bud Dupree signs an extension with the Chargers. They needed an outside linebacker, kind of an edge rusher. They needed somebody. So good for him. Good for them. Dolphins, Tyron Armstead decides to retire officially this offseason. Stephon Diggs shines in Patriots OTAs. Stephon Diggs. Does Stephon Diggs have more work to do rebuilding his career, rebuilding his image, or does Drake May have more to do with helping Stephon Diggs become who he should be? Stephon Diggs in Minnesota I can't say exactly what happened in Minnesota. I wasn't there. But Stephon Diggs was a stud in Minnesota. Minnesota decided to let him go without having an adequate replacement or thinking that Thielen was going to be that replacement. Thielen was not that adequate replacement. Diggs goes to Buffalo and balls out in Buffalo the first couple of years. Last year, he acted like he didn't know who his quarterback was. Then he goes to Texas. The Texans get injured. Now he's in the Patriots. A lot of bouncing around, man, for a receiver. When there's so many receivers out there, this guy is doing a lot of bouncing around. And I can't suspect that in New England he's going to have carte blanche to do things that he want to do because there's a veteran head coach there that kind of monitors what's going on there. So this is going to be an interesting season for Stephon Diggs. I think the pressure's on him to show us, he still has game because he has. If it doesn't work out with the Patriots, and they so desperately need a quality receiver, veteran receiver on that team. If it doesn't work out for him there, this might be it for old Stephon. This really might be it. What do you guys thoughts on Stephon Diggs? What do you guys thoughts on the NFL as a whole? I mean, I know we got weeks to go before. I know we got weeks to go before we kind of decide on make our picks and predictions, but it's going to be interesting to see how the Buffalo transition with the new wide receiver. Let me see other NFL news. We guys just want to talk about Saquon Barkley because. Saquon Barkley becomes the Madden, has his face on Madden, becomes the face of Madden this year, gets the Madden cover. What's your thoughts on it? I mean, it's well-deserved, obviously. He had a hell of a year last year, but should have another good year this year. So Saquon Barkley getting the cover. What you guys thoughts on that? That's a pretty dope achievement, right? I want to show you guys, not show you, but I want to bring up what I saw about the Madden winner here. What do you guys think? Is the Madden curse a thing anymore? Was it a thing? Is it a thing? Was it ever a thing? What do you guys think? The Suns have lowered their asking price for Kevin Durant, which makes sense because you're gonna have to sign him. So here we go. From the year 2000 to 2026, the Madden cover winners. We had Eddie George, Dante Culpepper, Marshall Faulk, Michael Vick, Ray Lewis, Donovan McNabb, Sean Alexander, Vince Young, Brett Favre, Troy Polamalu, the aforementioned Troy Polamalu also. Oh boy, my screen just went away, guys. I'm sorry about that. The screen just went away on me. Here we go. Larry Fitzgerald. I say Troy Polamalu, Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, Peyton Hillis. I think that probably was one of the worst ones. Peyton Hillis, Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson, Richard Sherman, Odell Beckham Jr. Who else do we have? Robert Gronkowski, Tom Brady, Antonio Brown in 2019, Patrick Mahomes 2020, Lamar Jackson 2021, Tom Brady 2022, Patrick Mahomes 2022, John Madden 2023, Josh Allen 2024, Christian McCaffrey 2025, Saquon Barkley 2026. I think the most undeserving guy on this list has to be the Peyton Hillis. That has to be the worst selections of this list. One-hit wonders, Vince Young, Sean Alexander, although that it wasn't really a one hit. He just hit it big that one year. but he had a consistent season for the most part. But yeah, I'm looking at this list. I think Peyton Hillis is the weakest of the. And he was a solid guy for the Browns, but just a cover on the Madden cover. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Who was deserved? Help me out. Who deserved that? I missed that. Like, you weren't saying Peyton Hillis was deserved, I'm sure. But fans, thank you guys again for your patronage. Some of the off-season stories that I'm looking for this year. Keep in mind, we'll talk about this more as the season gets closer to come starting. But can Jaden Daniels duplicate his rookie season? What are NFL rookies going to do? Austin Genty, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. What are those going to do? What are those guys going to do? Can Russell Wilson beat out the rookie in New York? Can Houston rebound and have a better season? What's going to happen in Pittsburgh? Who's going to be their quarterback? Can the Lions rebound from their tough season? They're losing players, but can they rebound from the whooping that they took in the playoffs last year? What do the Vikings look like with a true rookie quarterback? How does Sam Darnold play for the Seahawks? I want to know. I'm looking at the rookies again. More rookies. Matthew Golden, and what is it? Emmanuel Ibuka. I want to know how these guys. So these are the off-season. These are the stories that I'm looking forward to this next year. Also, this next year, I want to see how that Sony's Hawkeye system works. How are they going to introduce that to the season? The NFL, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those things that I mentioned, and then how the Hawkeye system will be introduced to the NFL. I want to know how these rule changes are going to take place, or how they're going to express themselves during the season. I think the most impactful rule play that we'll see that will impact us is onside kick whenever you want to, whenever you're down. I think maybe we'll see more of those. I don't know. But that's some of the things I'm looking forward to. I don't expect living here in Seattle, knowing the Seahawks drafted Jalen Milroe, it's gonna be a bad look if they have to turn to him, because that means Sam Darnold got hurt or is underperforming. So I just want to see if Milroe, can they develop him? That's going to be interesting to me. Can they develop that guy? I want to see if Scatterbo. Yeah, we heard a lot about him in the playoffs, college football playoffs. But at 4'6", is he an NFL running back? Can he play NFL at 4'6"? I have my doubts. Well, we'll see what Scatterbo's able to do. It'll be interesting. Fans, every week, I do my show every week here at the Great American Casino. You guys should come down here. It's a casino. They have a lot of games. They have bonus free play Sunday through Thursday. $1,000 in free play. 2 winners every hour. Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They have a nice happy hour menu down here. Reasonable pricing is, good food at reasonable prices. This is the Great American Casino, 14040 in Interurban Avenue South, Tukwila, Washington, 98168. That's 14040 Interbourbon Avenue, Tukwila, Washington, 98168. Come on down and check it out. They also have the Will Bounce Back. First Saturday of every month. They have the last month winner, bonus free play wheel and claw machine. They're invited back to the party, to a buffet, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. They have a drawing 6 p.m. every hour, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 7 p.m. as well. And you win your spins. First wheel spins, 2 times whatever you get. Second wheel spin, 3 times whatever you get. Third wheel spin, 4 times whatever you get. And fourth wheel spin, 5 times whatever you get. So come on down here. You got some opportunity to win some money. Come on down to the Great American Casino, Interurban in Tukwila. Come check us out. This week in history, fans, I'd just like to go over this week in history, kind of educate myself as well, the fans, and those who don't know about some of this stuff. Wesley A. Brown graduated from Annapolis Naval Academy, becoming the first African-American to do so. This was June 3rd, 1949. Democratic Senator Barack Obama secured enough votes to become the first black man in U.S. history to become the presidential nominee for a major American political party after a prolonged and often bitter competition with fellow Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton. Barack decided to run for presidency, which obviously he ran and became the first black president of America. Kudos to Barack Obama. June 4th, 1972, Angela Davis acquitted of charges related to a 1970 courtroom shooting by an all-white jury in San Jose, California. June 5th, 1973, Doris A. Davis is elected as mayor of Compton, California, making her the first African-American woman to govern a metropolitan city. June 6, 2004, Felicia Rashad becomes the first black actress to win a Tony for leading dramatic role for her work in A Raisin in the Sun. June 1st, 1979, the Seattle Supersonics won Seattle's first major professional sports championship, defeating the then Washington Bullets 97-93 in Game 5 of the NBA Finals to claim their 4-1 series victory. Whooped up on them because last year, the year prior, the Bullets beat them. 6-2, 1935, Babe Ruth announced his retirement from playing at 40. He ended his story 22-year career with 714 runs. June 3rd, 2018, Steph Curry broke Ray Allen's NBA Finals record with 9 3-pointers, scoring 33 points in the Warriors' win over the Cavaliers in Game 2. Just a little history, fans. Just a little history I want to touch on. You got to give you guys something to think about. Some of you guys may know, I'm covering the Seattle Storm this season while I'm here in the market. The Seattle Storm, they won three consecutive. Well, they lost their first game, won 3 consecutive games, then lost 3 consecutive games. They won 3 consecutive games, then lost 3 consecutive games. Skylar Diggins and Nneka Onwuemeke is leading the way of this team here. They also had Gabby Williams, who's a straight dog. She locks cats up defensively, and then she's a bucket on offense. I think Gabby we can get a little bit more out of Gabby, but those are the things that she does really well. Skylar Diggins is scoring well. How do you guys feel about Dominique Malunga? Dominique, she gets more and more playing time against Las Vegas Aces. They put her in there in the crunch time. She tried to defend Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray just made a fadeaway jumper. Better offense beat better defense. She just made a fadeaway jumper over top of her. Next time down court, she was guarded Aja Wilson, who again put another fadeaway jumper over on her. And so it's a learning experience because she wasn't shying away from talent. She was out there trying to compete against these guys, and she knew who these guys were. So she's giving them some good defensive minutes. But I think she probably does need 15 to 20 minutes a game versus the 10 minutes that she's averaging. Last Saturday night at the Mandalay Bay. I don't know how many of you guys tuned in to watch Jamal Charlo take on Thomas Lamana. Well, that was a snoozer. But the next fight, Armando Resendez beat up Caleb Plant. Now, Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant were talking about fighting each other, and Resendez, he messed up their plans by going out there and getting the win. He kind of handled Plant for most of that fight. Most of that fight, he handled Plant fairly easily. It looked like Caleb was gun shy. He didn't want to let his right hand go, and dipping and dodging. How did you guys see that fight? The Oklahoma University Sooners won't be playing in the college softball championship for the first time since 2018. After losing to Texas Tech last night, 2018, they've been playing for a championship. That's like what, 7 years that they've been playing for a championship. So yeah, this is abnormal for them to have this time off. It's crazy. Fans, I didn't know this still happens. I didn't know in National Hockey League that after their playoff series, they're still going and getting in line, shaking hands. Like, I think we're beyond sportsmanship. I like it, actually, because I think it's a good sign that as professionals, you can still have that sportsmanship. However, I don't expect this to go over well if it was the NBA or the NFL. Primarily because immediately after the game, there's still that animosity. Immediately after a series, I'm suspecting that there's still some animosity that some player may not be totally over yet, and want to take a cheap shot at you or spit on you, whatever it may be. Man, they try to get their lick back, and so shaking the guy's hands who you just beat. I don't know about that one. I'm all for sportsmanship. But getting in the line like you did in Little League and going down the line, shaking everybody's hand, I don't know that I'd be mature enough to participate in that. To be honest with you, that's really what I'm trying to say. But I didn't know they still did that in hockey. So that's interesting. Cincinnati Reds fans, Ellie Deli Cruz, despite learning of his sister's death, he played with a heavy heart and hit 2 home runs, honoring her with a heartfelt gesture in a 7-3 loss to the Cubs. Oh, that sucks. He lost it, but he played well, but just lost to the Cubs. So good work out of you, Ellie. Maybe your team can support you next time. The Seattle Mariners will retire Randy Johnson 51 jersey in 2026. Following the retirement of Ichiro Suzuki's number 51 in 2025, honoring both legendary players who wore the same number. Now, after, how are they both retired? That's quite, how are 2 guys wearing the same number that's retired? That kind of questioning to me. But that's going to be interesting. I may or may not go to the Ichiro Suzuki's Hall of Fame party, but it's going to be dope. Having another Mariner retire as a Hall of Famer is impressive for the Mariners because they absolutely stink. This gives Mariner fans something to cheer about this year, basically what it does. Those Mariners, the fans are giving something to cheer from as well because those Mariners right now are 32-27. They're above 500. The point differential of +4, 4-6 in their last 10 games. The Mariners are leading their division. So kudos to the Mariners. Can I give the Mariners a round of applause? Kudos to the Mariners for getting it done. Way to go, Seattle Mariners. Now, we're only less than 60 games into the year. They play 180 games, I think it is. So we're about a third of the way there. But they have a winning record. They can't. I mentioned this, I think maybe last week. You got to praise the progress. Give them credit for doing this way. You got to give them credit for having a winning record at this point in the season and leading your division. Kudos to you, Mariners. I have to take the hate away right now. I'm giving you guys props. Kudos to you guys. Fans, the quote I want to leave you guys with this week is I think I gave you guys that. Yeah, I got to get a different quote. I got to find one for you guys. Excuse me. Simply, this is a very simple quote tonight, fans. Very simple quote. And I need to listen. I'm talking to myself too, but fans, I need to listen and take my own advice oftentimes. So some of this is for me, but I also want you guys to hear any strategies that you had to kind of change things for the better for yourselves. And if I can help with that, that's what I'm here for. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. I just want to love talking sports with you guys. Give you some interesting input, interesting aspects, so different ways to look at the same topics that you guys have been hearing most of the day. But then I also as well, I love to give you some quotes. I love quotes to summarize and give some direction to our thoughts. So believe you can, and you're halfway there, fans. That's from Theodore Roosevelt. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Just have some belief in yourself. Have some belief, have some confidence you can get it done. Believe in yourself, and you're halfway there. And that's with anything, fans. That's the quote I want to leave for you guys today. Fans, I want to thank you guys. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Doing the show, fans, I really appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like the content that you're listening to. If you really like the content that you're listening to, hit that share button and share it with a friend, share it with a colleague, share it with a coworker, giving them a tough some positivity throughout the week, and that's what the show is supposed to be all about. Thank you guys for tuning in, fans. As well, I want to thank you for making our voice your choice. Enjoy your week, fans. Talk to you guys next week. Next week, we'll have some NBA Finals to chat about. So that's exciting. Thank you for your time. I'll holler at you soon.